Hi, welcome back to the God of Onions podcast. I am Hiral Mehta, your host and the creator of the podcast, as well as the owner of House of Hiral, a brand that sells art and lifestyle products. In the last episode, we had the opportunity to interview the talented scribe and calligrapher Paul Antonio, where he spoke about his field of study, how to progress as a calligrapher, and much more. To check out the interview, head over to our Spotify channel, God of Onions, or you can also catch the video in at the rate House of Hiral on Instagram and also my YouTube channel at God of Onions. Today, our next episode, we have Sanjana Chetlani, or also known as the creator of the Bombay Lettering Company. Sanjana is a well known calligrapher, lettering artist, and entrepreneur. Sanjana has worked for clients such as the Ritz Carlton, Michael Kors, Jimmy Choo, and also created art for Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra's wedding. She also occasionally conducts workshops for budding artists as well. Let me add her. Hi,
Hi.
Sanjana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm so excited having you on my platform. I think it's an honor having you at my platform.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you for having me. And congratulations on this amazing podcast.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much, Sanjana. Means a lot
yeah.
to me. So,
It's
I
amazing. I
think,
guess it's always amazing to see when people are, bringing artists from the community together, taking initiative, and just, like getting that information to everybody else because I think it's really valuable and helpful also.
yes. And I think, when people knew that I'm going to be interviewing you, you don't know how many DMs I have received, and it's like,
Really?
oh my God, are you interviewing Sanjana Chetlani? She's my favorite. I'm her fan. And I was like, wow,
Oh,
it's such an honor. It's
it's
such an honor.
heartwarming. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Disha's here. Hey, Disha. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. So I think we can start now. I can start asking questions to you. I've already introduced you. So, yes.
Yeah,
So my
thank you for
first,
that introduction.
yeah. So my first question, I'm sorry, is what led you to your interest in lettering?
So it's really funny because I wouldn't come to you with like this very you know, a story you might expect where I said I was studying art in school and I was always inclined towards it. So for me, it was actually the opposite. I had never even thought of calligraphy or looked at calligraphy until I was like 25 years old. And it was only during my corporate job that I discovered this love for it. So I was an art student in school. I had taken visual arts as well, but I never thought that I'd do something with it professionally. It's also this thing that's drilled into our heads that thing, the story of like the starving artist and how like being an artist is not going to make you money. Like, how can you
That's
make that a
true.
profession? Um, and I mean, for me, it was a very, a natural path. After college, I got my first job. I was doing marketing and brand management for a French company, and I was loving it. It was in the luxury industry. So it was marketing for a wines and spirits company. And over there, actually, was the first few times that I actually saw that every time our products were going out to be gifted, they were going with handwritten notes in calligraphy. And we would get a calligrapher to our office who used to sit and write. And that was the first time I actually noticed and appreciated it. And I was like, wow. And I think for me, that's when the interest just started rising, where I started following artists on Instagram. I started seeing what this world was all about. And as we all know, it's like this rabbit hole that it just sucks you in. Um,
True.
and one thing
True.
kind of just led to another. And that's how I started, studying and practicing it. Yeah.
Wow, wow, Sanjana, that's an amazing journey. I think, wow. And I think a lot of people are asking if this life is going to be saved. Yes, this life is going to be saved at God of Onions. Yes. So now my next question. I think, I've already got my hair standing after listening to your journey somehow. But yeah, wow. So, what pushed you to convert this passion into profession? How did you go about this change? So, as you said, that you came from a corporate, but I would like to know some more on how
Yeah,
more.
sure.
Yeah.
So when I started, it was the first time I kind of got interested in the world of calligraphy was somewhere around like mid 2017, early 2017. And the minute I knew that I really liked it, I tried to look up some calligraphers in the US and I tried to club it in because I remember I was going for a family holiday to California. And I said, let me see if I can even attend a workshop by a teacher. So I attended a few workshops. I actually met a few calligraphers in San Francisco and LA. And the one thing that really blew me away then, and I can't forget it, was how amazing the community is over there. The community of artists, how helpful they are, how forward they just come forward to help. Even though they didn't know me, I was a girl from India who just sent them an email being like, can you meet me? I'm going to be in LA and I'd love to know about your journey. And some of them responded, they met me. So I think I came back and I was like, this is it. I'm making an Instagram account. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I want to just
Wow.
make an Instagram account and just start posting pictures of my work. So 6 months of just doing that, 6, 7 months, I was learning. I realized that I really liked pointed pen and copper plate. So that was the only thing I was learning and doing at that time. Um, until 6 months later, I started getting requests from just friends and family to do simple projects, like, hey, can you write 10 cards for me? Can you write, like 5 place cards for a sit down dinner? Can you, write a birthday card for me? Like very easy, simple stuff that was ink on paper, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And just like that, through like word of mouth, friends, family, my colleagues at work, people knew that I was doing this thing on the side. And people would reach out to me. And I remember it was Diwali 2017 that a friend of mine said, listen, can you write Diwali cards for me? But I'm only going to do it if you charge me. And I was like, money charge? What? No, 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 no. I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free. And he was like, are you crazy? You have to charge me. And I remember that day because it was Diwali 2017 was the first day I made my first ever income in like calligraphy. And I did those cards for him and he loved it. So, it just kind of spread. And
Wow.
over the next 6 to 8 months, I started doing it on the side. So I would be at work from like 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'd come home really excited to, eat dinner, sit on my desk and just work on clients' projects or just practice and study till two in the morning, 3 in the morning. And I was loving it. And obviously until it reached a point where I wasn't even considering it to be a, a business. So I didn't even consider it to ever become something that I could make full time. I always just thought it would be like a side hustle, or like a passion project.
Wow.
So that's the thought of doing it professionally that didn't strike me, or the thought of doing it full time. Well, it's also because I loved my day job. I loved it. I had an amazing team, an amazing boss. I was learning a lot. I loved luxury brand management. In fact, just yesterday, someone asked me that, if it wasn't calligraphy, where would you have seen yourself going? And I said, I was like, I think I would have gone to do an MBA in luxury brand management and then completely gone into that, sort of section in the corporate world. So it was also because I loved my job, the idea of quitting never came to my mind. I also thought I was this superwoman who could do both. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
I can manage until obviously it was getting a lot. And then I realized that I was saying no to a lot of calligraphy jobs that were coming my way because I just didn't have the time to take on more. So
Great.
that was the first time it kind of made me realize that, hey, I think there's more demand for this than I thought. And people seem to be liking what I'm doing. So, and that's when I started thinking of the idea of what if I had to quit and go full time with this? What if I had to kind of quit my job and explore this world? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe the worst that happens is that I fail at this calligraphy thing. Okay, I'll come back into the corporate world. So that was my thought process, and that's kind of how
Wow.
the idea of even thinking of quitting my job to go full time with this came up. But it was a lot later, after I started studying and practicing it.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. And I think it's a good thing that you did not do your master's for luxury brands because you already work for luxury brands. So,
Yeah, I don't know
wow.
when I'm gonna do my. I was talking to, my teammate Jaina last night actually, and I was like, I don't know when I'll go for a master's now. I don't think so.
I don't think
Because
so.
now you're,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. And
yeah.
I
So that's
think the
kind of
place where you've reached now, it's way more than your corporate job anyway. So, yes,
it's a lot more fulfilling for sure, and it's a
I'm
lot
sure,
more
I'm
like,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So my next question is, what challenges did you face while creating your business and how did you solve these?
Okay. So I would say right in the beginning, the biggest challenge was also that people didn't take me seriously because even though it's been a short like 4 years, um, today the world of calligraphy in India has really evolved thanks to social media, thanks to Instagram, thanks to international calligraphers coming here and all of that.
Agreed.
Um, but back in 2017 when I started, calligraphy was looked at in a very different way. It was just looked like skilled labor for a lack of a better sort of word. And people wouldn't think about paying for it. They didn't think of it as luxury. They didn't think of it as a beautiful art form. They would just think of it as, ha, mein shadi hai, just get a calligrapher to sit at home and write on 200 envelopes, and that's it. Like it was not looked at in a way that it is today, and the exposure we all have today with, you know, connecting with artists all over the world. So I think the first thing back then was nobody took it as seriously. They just thought I was doing something for fun. It was like a passion thing, but nobody thought that it could be converted into a full-time business. So just trying
Agreed.
to convince people around me that listen, I have faith in this, I believe in this, and I know that it can be made into something much bigger was
Hmm.
the initial challenge I faced. Of course, my immediate like family and friends were very supportive, but it was also about convincing people around us and clients around us and justify the amount we're charging. Because at that time people would be like, 50 rupees to write a name? What nonsense. I'll only pay you 3 rupees. And I'm just like, seriously? So we would come across all sorts of people. And I think so that was one big challenge to kind of convince people and show people that this can be made into a serious business. Just like anybody else, we can be business owners and artists can be entrepreneurs and all of that.
Agreed.
Um, Another challenge I faced was pricing, kind of understanding how to price my work because it's not a conventional, like field, or it's not something that's very common where like traditional practices of how people price their work. So for me, in the beginning, it was like, how do I even price the handwritten letter? How do I price the nameplate? How do you put a price on your service, on your art and your skill?
Yes.
Because in India,
Yes.
that concept of charging by the hour is not as common as it is abroad. So abroad,
Yes.
calligraphers and artists can easily charge, oh, my charges are $150 an hour. Oh, my charges are $200 an hour. And that's fine. In India, if you tell someone, hey, I'm charging you 5,000 rupees an hour, they'll think you're purposely going slow just so that you can clock in more hours. So
That's true. That's so
and I've
true.
come across so many people who've said that to me. So it's like maybe that pricing structure doesn't really work. So how does it work? So over the months and even years, it's always been a challenge to figure out the right pricing for the right thing even in the right city and the market based on your audience, all of that. So I think pricing was a good challenge, but we're getting good at it now. I think as a community of calligraphers, we're all getting a bit better. We talk to each other, we communicate, we make sure that we're all kind of in a similar range, at least a few calligraphers that I know, so that nobody's completely undercutting someone. Um,
Agreed.
so yeah, so I would say challenge one was at least letting people take me seriously in the beginning, and showing people what's possible. Challenge two was pricing, and I think yeah, overall it's been really great. So not too many. There are little challenges as you every single day, but not too many like really big ones. Oh, there was one big one, which was getting good quality supplies in India. So when I started, I couldn't source good, proper quality tools and supplies. And that was the biggest challenge for me because I had to wait for people coming from the US or from Europe to carry it from me and bring it to India. And that's what led us to even opening our own online store. Because now
Yes,
we
I. Yeah.
so that was actually the driving force behind the online store because I was like, this is so frustrating. Like, how do we get all these amazing supplies in India? And I was like, forget it. I'm just going to open my own store and I'm going to make sure we have everything over here. And that's what led to the store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because I see a lot of your products. I think you recently introduced a pen as well, a copper plate pen,
Yeah. So
which
this
is
is
very interesting.
so it's an oblique holder made by this amazing team in Italy. And
Okay.
they have a calligraphy store and they make calligraphy supplies and holders and beautiful inks. And they even made Barbara Calzolari's personalized holders. So that they're the ones who've made it for us, and they're doing really well. They're beautiful. Yeah. So they're Bombay
Wow, wow.
Lettering oblique holders. Yeah.
Amazing. I also see a lot of people asking questions. So the ones who would want
Hmm.
to ask questions, you all can ask at the end because once we complete with ours.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yes. So my next question is, what tools are required to be a successful calligrapher? Not just physical, but mental tools too.
That's a good question. So, of course, to be an artist or to study any art form, you have to have the certain technical skills, obviously. So you want to constantly um, study, improve, practice, learn. You have to keep upgrading your own skills. So for a calligrapher, a few skills that are really, really, really important are you want to make sure that you're building your muscle memory. You want to make sure that you're understanding the shapes. You're working on guidelines. Your hand is steady. You're, focusing on your breathing. You want to make sure that you get these beautiful, perfect strokes that are not shaky, that are not off shape. So it actually, as an art form, it's quite restricted and it's quite technical also because you're working at very
Agree.
specific angles. Um, you're working with tools like ink, paper, nib, etc. That all have to come together in harmony to work well for you. And while people don't understand when we say this, that it takes years and years to master a script, it truly does, and I'm seeing that because I've been studying copperplate calligraphy for about 4 years now, and I know that I still have years to kind of keep refining it and mastering it. But if to answer your question, sorry, that's CJ.
Oh, that's
Ap-
good. Yeah.
Apart from, the skills that you require, there are lots of like mental tools also, right? You want to make sure that you are dedicated. You want to make sure that you're extremely focused. And when you do sit down to practice, it's very mindful practice. I also feel like things like focusing on your breath and your breathing and your state of mind is so important because as an art form like this, if I'm having a bad day, my hand's going to be really shaky and I'm not going to be able to get those perfect strokes. So it's so like interdependent on your mood as well. So
Wow.
you kind of want to make sure you're always in a really nice and positive headspace, at least for me. Like some of my best work comes out when I'm in a good mood, when I'm feeling great. And some of my not so great work comes out when I'm just having an absolutely crappy day. And that those are the days you want to switch off and maybe not write and just do some admin work or do something else, but it is, yeah, exactly like someone just said, it's meditation. It's
It's
complete
meditation.
meditation. It is so therapeutic it's so meditative. And I've tried this. Like I've worked with elder people, I've worked with autistic children, to try and teach them calligraphy as well. And the results we've seen of just, sitting down, forgetting everything else, focusing on your breathing, your nib, your ink, your paper, your strokes, actually feeling your ink flow onto the paper is so meditative. that I think it changes a lot in you. Like I feel it's changed me as a person over the years as well. It's made me a lot more calm. It's made me a lot more patient, and it's made me a lot more attentive also. Like I pay attention to little details because that's what calligraphy is all about. It's all about, that OCD in you has to come out
Yes,
like to
yes.
the next level. So it's made me actually focus on little details that in everything in life that I otherwise wouldn't have maybe given a second thought to. So I feel
Wow.
I can directly see it impact like other things that I do in life, not just calligraphy.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautifully said, I think. I think the hand-eye coordination happens when you have a right state of mind.
I
Well
absolutely.
said.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. So my next question is, how do you brand your calligraphy as yours? So what is your niche?
So I guess everybody who knows me today and who follows me knows that I am obviously I want this to change over time and I hope it evolves. But maybe today I am known as a pointed pen calligrapher in the country. People know that my strongest point, my niche is copper plate calligraphy. Um, my style, my vibe, my aesthetic is very like, at least I try to keep it very elegant, very minimal, um, very maybe even luxury, because that's my that
Yes.
that is my kind of vibe, and that's what I love, and that's my aesthetic. So people know that if they're coming to the Bombay Lettering Company, this is what they're kind of going to get. And I mainly work with weddings, with brides, with events, with corporates, with brands, and we add in that personalized handwritten touch. So yes, people I think know me to be pointed pen calligraphy, um, copper plate calligraphy, flourished, elegant work. I guess that's what I'd like to say. Hopefully, over the years, that evolves and we get a lot more like scripts under our wings, and let's see where it takes us. I don't know.
Wow, wow, so true. Someone said it's luxury for sure.
It is.
Yes, that's
Well,
true.
it's calligraphy is not a need. It's like it's an added luxury. It's a want.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. So, yeah. So, my next question, how did you develop as a calligrapher?
So the one thing I kind of realized and learned, especially with Barbara, who's a teacher and a mentor to me, she's a master plan woman, is that you will never stop learning. The first thing she gave us in Italy when we reached were these really cute tags that said Ancora Imparo, which in Italian means forever learning. And that basically stuck with me that you are constantly evolving, and there is no such thing as, oh my God, I have reached a level where I don't need to learn anymore. I don't need to attend any more workshops because I've mastered it all. There's no such thing like that. Like today, at an average, I'm attending like 2 to 3 workshops a month
Oh,
with
wow.
with
Okay.
other teachers across the world. And I mean, thanks to the pandemic, um, teaching has become so, attending workshops has become so easily accessible today because everything is online. When I started to actually learn from a master penman, you had to fly to wherever in the world they were to make sure you could attend their workshop. But today, I don't know if it's, I mean, a blessing in disguise, but we are able to
Yes,
sit at home, look at our laptops, and attend classes with teachers from all over the world, which is a luxury, really.
which is
Um,
true, very true.
we've gotten, and it's like you're getting first row view, right? Because you're getting the
Yes.
screen directly. Um, I think for me, the one thing to keep developing as a calligrapher is to constantly learn, upgrade, study, not just maybe calligraphy, scripts, but even things that complement your calligraphy. So,
Okay. Yes.
whether it's like things that I'm doing, like I'm learning how to do gilding and illumination, which is the application of gold
I saw
leaf
that. Yes, yes, that's
around to
beautiful.
decorate your work.
I saw
So
that.
I think
Yes.
to constantly it's stunning. It really is. And I love it and I'm hooked. So like for me, it's also like, okay, I'm studying calligraphy and I'm studying these art forms, but what are the other things in the periphery or the other um, uh, skills I can learn that will complement my calligraphy and take it to the next level?
Wow. Wow, that's
So
quite
maybe,
interesting.
yeah, that's really what it kind of is for me.
So there's someone who had asked a question saying that she wants to learn. Where can she learn from? Where can she register at your space?
Yeah, website, Instagram, just shoot us a DM and we'd be more than happy to kind of help um, help you begin your journey.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
So my next question is, um, so I actually saw on your website, like about you, that you do a little bit of I'm sorry about my pronunciation. I could be wrong. Devanagari text.
Devanagari. Yeah.
Yes. So what drew you to learn Indian calligraphy or Devanagari text?
When I started studying and I realized that all of us are trying to run and learn these Western scripts and all the Western styles and not realizing or not, kind of paying attention to the fact that we have this gold mine in our own country.
True.
And we're lucky to have two different languages that are from two different scripts. I mean, not two, many. For me too, because I
Yes.
speak I speak English and Hindi. So we have English that comes from Latin and Hindi that comes from Sanskrit, right? And that's a beautiful script. And it's also like, why? Why are we chasing this thing of learning all these European scripts and American styles when we can do some amazing work with our own, like our culture?
True.
I mean, for me,
True.
that was the first sort of kind of just like, nudge to be like, you know what, let's explore this and let's see. And of course, then for me, it was like, if I want to learn this, I want to learn this from the best in the country. Um, and I reached out to Achyut Pallav, who is probably one of India's most renowned calligraphers. He's been doing calligraphy for over 40 years now. So, I'm saying I struggled in 2017. Imagine in his case, he started doing calligraphy in India 40 years ago, and for him
Wow.
trying to explain to people that he was a calligrapher. So his journey is remarkable. And I reached out to him and I was like, so I want to learn with you. And I know you teach these big group classes, but is there a way I can come and study with you, just one on one? And he was like, I don't teach anyone one on one. But if you need to show me how serious you are, and if I think you're serious enough, then I'll teach you. So I guess to kind of prove how serious I was, I had to take a train, which was a 2.5 hour journey one way. I would take a
Okay.
train at 7 a.m. to go and spend the morning with him, study with him, and then take the train 2.5 hours back here. And I would do that 4 times a week for a couple of months. And
Wow.
yeah, and he was like, okay, I know you're serious. Let's do this. And he was the best teacher, the best mentor. So, it's been really nice studying it. I mean, I would admit that I still don't give it as much time and importance I would love to. Um, Also because commercially I predominantly do English calligraphy. But, for everyone studying and learning, like Devanagari is beautiful, Sanskrit's beautiful. There's so much history, there's so much culture that we can learn, study, and understand from that script, that we shouldn't ignore it. Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's very well said. I think, as you said, that we should not forget the culture of our Indian heritage. I think we have so many writings which have been forgotten or which are there as well, as you said. So it's
Yeah,
very
for
true.
sure. And
It's
then,
it's very inspiring.
and then the next thing that pops up is how do we combine what we know? So I'm always trying to combine copperplate calligraphy with Devanagari and create something. Because then the more you know, the more you study, you can always kind of create art in whatever way you want. Some people like creating, actually using their calligraphy to create canvases, like Achyut sir. He creates a lot of art pieces with his work. So then there's so many options for one to like create. with the more you've learned.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I think it's quite cool.
That's quite
Yeah.
inspiring for me as well as many people here. Yeah. So my
Yeah.
next question is, um, so any advice you may have for young artists who are trying to set their foot in calligraphy?
Yeah. Maybe through my own like little bit and little journey, I could say that one before deciding to jump into doing it professionally, I would say really understand how much you love it first. Like really spend a couple of months or years doing it for yourself, doing it for as a hobby, doing it with no pressure of doing it commercially. Because when you do something for fun at your own time, with no client coming back and giving you feedback or yelling at you for what you've done if you've done it wrong, it's very different from actually doing it professionally. Because you're working with clients who sometimes may not be very easy and they're quite difficult to work with, or you have tight deadlines, or you're doing something that you don't particularly love, but you have to do it. So it's very different. What I'm trying to say is very different doing it um, for yourself and when you're doing it professionally for a client. A lot of times people don't like it when they have to do it on timelines and deadlines and stuff like that. So the first thing is really spend time to do it for yourself and understand how much you love it. And be realistic with yourself in terms of, am I ready to take this professionally? Like, it's one thing to just dream about something, but it's another thing to kind of be to be realistic about opportunities, potential, where you stand. So I would say, try and be as honest with yourself in terms of, are you ready to take it to that next level? Are you ready to do this professionally? Um, the next thing I'd say is, if possible, after graduating, try and work for someone else before you work for yourself. I've had like tremendous learning in the 4 years of working in a corporate job before I quit to go full time with my calligraphy. But then again, it also boils down to, do they want to build a business, or do they want to be a freelancer? Do they want to be an artist? So of course, it's like, what is it that you want? But if you do want to, try and start your own thing, I would say as much as possible, work for such a business are everything I learned from my first job. Even that sense of discipline of working for someone, So I would definitely say, like, try and work for someone else before you start your own thing. And just never ever stop learning. Invest heavily in yourself if you can. And heavily means with whatever you can. Invest as much as you can in learning from the best, connecting with the community. Uh, it goes a long way. Sorry, I didn't mean to preach, but I would say
Wow.
that's
No,
mainly
no,
like
no, but
what
that's
I would
that's
think.
very true. As you said, that when it comes from the heart, eventually it pushes you to do more, and eventually it makes you go on persistently, as you said.
For
It's
sure.
very
You know,
important.
it's so important because today, like, my friends come home and they see me doing like 500 envelopes, 800 envelopes, like addressing envelopes, and they're like, do you not get bored? Like, you're just writing the same thing again and again. And I'm like, no, I love it. Like, it's like it gives me this like adrenaline rush. Like, every time I move on to the next envelope, I'm excited of, oh my God, how can I do this flourish differently? Or how can I do this, write this word differently? And it's like a thrill, and a lot of people may not feel that, so you have to
I have
really
seen one of your
experiment.
lives. Yes, I
You
have
have to
seen one
see
of.
what.
Yes, sorry.
No, no, I was just saying, like, you have to see what makes you tick. Like, what is it that gives you that joy? And are you sure that you're so passionate about it that you want to convert it to a business and convert it to your profession? Because I truly feel that only if you're like crazy passionate about it will you be able to, because it's an art form at the end of the day. You can't run it like a business. Uh, You have to run it with your soul and your heart and your passion.
True.
At least that's what I think. Yeah.
True, true, true. That's so true. I had actually seen one of your lives where, you were exploring every letter, where you were asking names and writing them, and you were exploring, the different techniques you can try while writing it. I think looking at your life, somehow, even though I am an artist, I'm a contemporary artist, not a calligrapher, that, you have to be passionate in your profession while you'll have to continue.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's an art form, at the end of the day. Sorry, you were saying something that you saw some live and that's when it got cut
Your
off.
live, yes. So I had seen your live where you were writing names and you were trying different techniques on how you can actually do it differently with every name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
That's the
it was really
beauty.
interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And that's like the fun of it, and that's
Yeah.
the and it's not, trust me, not everyone understands it. So a lot of times, like when we go for these like calligraphy conventions or something like I am Pet, or you come together with calligraphers, it's like you can talk about nibs the whole day and nobody thinks you're weird because everyone is equally passionate about it. So it's
True.
quite nice.
True, true, so true. So, guys, I am done with my questions. Would you all have any questions for Sanjana? So, the
Yeah.
first question is, what kind of financial investments is required to have a calligraphy setup like yours?
Well, initially nothing. I didn't have any, like, I didn't invest into it at all. I started saving with all my projects slowly over the years until, of course, I could begin to afford things like rent and employees and stuff like that. But for the first like 2.5 years, I think the most I took was initially I asked my parents to like send me for one workshop. So that was the first and only investment I had taken from like my parents. But after that, I kind of started using everything that I earned and everything that I made to pump back into my own calligraphy business. Yeah. So even today, like
Wow.
everything I earn is kind of pumped back in, and that's kind of my way of going about it. So no, you don't need a massive financial investment because it's not like we have to invest in like machinery or like it's not something that you have to have an office for. It's literally your tools and supplies. That's the only thing you need to initially invest in. Just buy good quality ink, nib, paper, and that's about it to start with, and books or workshops. And today we're so lucky because there's so much like free resources available online
True,
also to at least start.
true,
To at least start,
true,
you know.
true, true. So, someone's asked, how much did you pay for your first workshop?
Um, so I think this was when I went to the US. I paid like $200 or something at that time. Yeah.
Oh, great. So, it's from Hridaya, made with love. I think. I
Yeah,
hope I
yeah, yeah,
pronounced it
yeah.
right. So, the next question is, from Disha, how do you get that work-life balance? I think she's a fan of yours, Disha.
I know
I
Disha.
think.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so nice because there's so many people we're just all connected with on Instagram and you like
Yes.
everyone in the community. Disha, I am the worst person to answer this question because I um actually didn't have a very good work-life balance when I was starting off. Purely because I just used to feel that when you start something you have to like give it your literally your heart and soul and your all, and it's a different thing because I was so passionate about it that it would never feel like work. So that was dangerous because I was always doing it and I was always doing calligraphy because I never felt like I was actually working. Jayana's here laughing because she's my teammate and she's like, dude, you need to like sleep. Um, but obviously, I think now what's happened over the years where, I've got a studio. So for me, the studio was such a great way to divide the work and home life. Because when I was working from home, I was like working at 2 a.m., I was working at like 4 p.m. I was just like, I had no cycle. Like I would just work all the time. Or if I'm not working on client work, I'd be like studying a script or, learning or something. But now what's nice is sometimes I even tend to leave my books and tools in the office so that when I come home, I know that it's just time with like my family and my dog and my tennis and my exercise or whatever it is and my friends. So I'm kind of getting better at it. And I realized that you have to have that work-life balance. It's otherwise it'll drive you
True,
mad. It'll drive you crazy.
true,
Even whatever with whatever
true,
you love, you have to take that time out to do other things, to do things you love. And I think we get better at it as we go on.
true,
Yeah.
true, true, so true. I have a question. How many hours do you work now after shifting your office, I mean, studio and
So usually we get also the other thing I've realized and begun to love is that now that I work for myself, um I want to make the most of this. I don't want to be my own slave. So if I want to go and play tennis at 9 o'clock in the morning, I will do that, shower, whatever, and reach the studio by 11 or 11:30. And I'm okay with that, So I make plan my day according to like everything now. And I probably get into work by 11:30, and I'm there till about 6:37 or like 7:30. But of course, that doesn't mean that when I come home, sometimes I don't work. So I do feel like my most productive time is sometimes at night because I'm a complete like night owl. So
oh, interesting.
sometimes I know that it's okay if I don't, work too much during the day, but I can get 2 hours of really good work in at night. Um, and I like that. But now we're kind of back to working from home again. So now again, it's a little difficult to try and make that balance and
The
manage.
work life.
Yeah, for sure. But I kind of just come and sit on my dining table at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm here till about 5:36 and I'm happy. And then I might come back at night, but that's it.
Wow, that's quite interesting. So my next question is, there are so many questions now.
But I will tell you,
Oh
like,
my
as an
God.
artist, and for a lot of artists, no 2 days will be the same. Like, it's hard to have a routine, like a fixed routine.
True.
Because based on what you're working on based on the client work you're doing, your day will vary. Like, some days I'm doing more admin work and more like, I'm sitting on my laptop kind of work. And then some days I'm just on my desk writing and doing calligraphy. And then some days I'm just packing orders and packing out kits that need to go out. So it's nice because there's a mix of a lot of things, so it doesn't get monotonous.
True, true, true. So our next question, when did you realize you wanted to be a calligrapher? Did you pick it up as a hobby? I think
We've
Sanjana has
answered this.
already
Yeah.
spoken. Yes, she's already spoken about this. I'm going to save this live and you can actually watch it again where she's answered this. Now, the next question is, okay, sorry. When did you realize? Yeah. Since calligraphy is usually a hobby, did you find it difficult to make it a profession? I think you've answered that as well.
Yeah.
So let me select the questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone saying,
How
where is
can,
CJ? I adore him.
where is, yeah, I think where is CJ? She's asked twice or thrice. Who's CJ?
CJ is my golden retriever. I will get him at the
Okay.
end and I will make
Oh my
him
God,
say
so
hi.
cute.
Sorry.
So
Okay. What's our
cute.
next question?
Yes. How can one join your team?
You can email us at contact@bombaylettering.com. Just shoot us an email with your CV, and if whenever we are looking, we'll definitely get in touch with you.
Okay. Then the next question is, which is the manuscript you can choose for a beginner? I think I am Re5. Hi, I'm sorry with the pronunciation. He's asked us like twice
So I mean,
now.
I would say the first thing is, you want to kind of understand what style of calligraphy you want to learn and study. And then based on that, you dive into like books and stuff. But what I would say is there are some really great resources. So like iampeth.com is a great place to kind of go explore, get some manuals. David Grimes' website has, some manuals that you can download for free. He has a lot of resources. So you can check these websites out and see what you'd like to download and get in the form of like books and manuscripts and stuff. You wanna kind of understand which style and script you want to study. So I think he said copperplate. So if it's copperplate, then try and find who are the best copperplate calligraphers that you want to learn from. So a lot of people love Suzanne Cunningham, and her copperplate is beautiful. Her flourishing is beautiful. Maybe see if you can attend a workshop of hers. There's Pat Blair, who's known for great copperplate. There's Eleanor Winters. Paul Antonio himself is
Paul
amazing.
Antonio.
Paul is great for copper plate. So you can kind of figure out who are the few amazing copper plate calligraphers and who do you resonate with, like whose work do you really like, and then kind of learn from them as well. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So the next question, what what is the onion film? Okay, so I think that question is for me.
Hey, you should
So
answer
the
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the reason I have named it as God of Onions is because it's based on the onion philosophy where the layers open. So, while, say, for example, while I'm questioning Sanjana, we've got layers opening, we are understanding about her journey, her philosophy, and so many things. So, I think every episode has, the layer opening. So, we call every episode as layers. So, this is the second episode called as layer two. So, yes.
That's amazing. It's a great, like a really nice concept and idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then our next question is, let me, how to price your artworks? You've already answered. Yes. So someone's asked, why is it not come? Yeah. So is Instagram enough to get potential clients, or we have to be on other social media platforms too?
I think Instagram's amazing. And I think Instagram was the only social media platform I was on for the longest time. And it worked wonders. Of course, it's a mix of a lot of things. So, it's word of mouth, it's a little bit of networking. Um, and while I will say that Instagram is a great platform to gain business, um, what's also important is you want to try and build your own list or database of clients and people. And a great way of doing that is building an email list. So if you guys have heard of or read about email marketing and the importance of that, because that means that you have your clients, community, customers, email addresses to reach their inboxes directly without the help of like an app. Because what happens if Instagram shuts down tomorrow? Does that mean your
True.
business shuts down? Obviously not, right? So Instagram can be a great tool to aid us, to push us, to help us and spread word about what we do and gain people and customers. But kind of always keep at the back of your mind that I don't want to only rely on this. It's like putting all your eggs into one basket, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
how do I build my email list? How do I build a list of people who I can connect with no matter what?
True,
So
true.
I'd say that.
That's
But
very
having
true.
said that, Instagram is a great social media platform. It's helped me with a lot and a lot of business and to get like recognized and all of that. Yeah.
True, true. So, Sanjana, I have a question. While I have spoken about my onion philosophy, what is your philosophy about onion? About, your interview in sync with God of Onions?
No, but I loved what you said. I loved that you said that just the way we kind of get into a conversation, we're peeling out layer over layer
Yes,
over layer. And that makes so
yes,
much sense because um, when you speak to someone or when you meet someone, there's so much more than what you just see from the outside, right? And the more you kind of get deeper into it and connect with that person and talk to that person, you're able to peel off those layers and reach a more vulnerable kind of inner
true.
person or whatever you'd like to call it. So
Yes, true.
I definitely think that I think it's a really nice. I've never thought of it like that. So it's really cool that this is the name, this is your kind of, your platform and what you're doing. So I
Philosophy.
think, yeah, you're even the philosophy. So I think it's really cool, and I can't wait to see all your next interviews and podcasts as well.
True, true. I think the next podcast is with Hetal Shukla. You must have heard of him. The Lal Gadi, the Gadi with
Yeah,
coins at Kala Ghoda
yeah,
Festival.
yeah. Oh my
He's,
gosh,
yes,
wow,
he's going to be
amazing.
next after in the third layer. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. No, no, it's so nice that and then the thing is like you get such different perspectives from everybody, like different artists, different like creative entrepreneurs, and it's just so nice to like listen to like their stories and their journey, and it just gives you a different perspective to like see things.
Yes, that's very true. So the next question, shall I keep this the last?
Sure.
Oh God,
Yeah.
there are so many. Would you, what are some free resources to learn copperplate calligraphy from?
Okay. Free resources. I would say check out my website, check out Kestrel, Ink Me This website, check out Nina Tran. Nina Tran does these weekly live sessions. I think it's every Wednesday evening, our time, where she does these amazing 30-minute lives where she tackles a lot of like questions, doubts, letter forms, etc. There must be people who have like great YouTube channels. What I can do is I can give you a list. I can give you a list of like some resources, and maybe we can put it up as a story or send it to these people, and they can check it out later on.
Done, done.
Yeah, yeah. But definitely
How
check out David Grimes' website. Check out I Am Pet because I know that they have stuff you can download.
amazing. Yes. How do you think of great ideas like nameplates or wallpapers or painting plus calligraphy? I admire you. Wow, that's from my dot 11V. Yes.
Thank you. So I think that's a nice question because for me, what's kind of intrigued me always is the idea of what's next, or how can we take this to another level, or how can we convert ink on paper to something more large, real, life size, for example. And how do we, exactly what our like tagline is, like how do we bring your words to life? And with technology today and with our gadgets around us, there's unlimited like potential and possibilities. So for me, it's always about like, how do I play on different surfaces? What is it that I can do? How do I make my calligraphy relatable? Or, like, how do we make sure that someone is, because it's one thing to create beautiful words and just put it up on Instagram. But if you're trying to get clients, you have to kind of show them how it's applicable in day-to-day things around them. Maybe it's home decor, maybe it's weddings, maybe it's, the practical side of it. Like, where do you use your calligraphy? So I think that's how this kind of came up, like nameplates outside your house or making like wallpapers, because I'm trying to show you that even though I'm doing calligraphy and creating this, it's not just a pretty word written, it's actually usable.
True,
So,
true,
like it's basically showing people the practicality of it, the usability of it, and making it relevant to them.
true, true. So we have 1 minute more, guys. Yes. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue their career as calligraphy artist?
So we
I
have
think
kind of answered that.
yes, you can actually check the IGTV which I've already posted on God of Onions. So yes. So guys, do you all have any? Okay, another question. Yes. So how can one start going about wall calligraphy? How can beginners help themselves? That's an amazing question. Yes.
Okay, so doing calligraphy on walls, so kind of painting murals and stuff. It's a fun process. It's really amazing. I would definitely say, I don't know if she's already closed doors for this workshop, but there's an amazing lettering artist called Lauren Hom, HOM, and her Instagram account is called Hom Sweet Hom, like home sweet home.
Interesting.
So yeah, and she has just announced a workshop on mural painting. So Disha, if you're interested in that, you can definitely check her out. So there's one thing where calligraphers or artists just paint a mural, but then there's a whole other world which is called sign painting. Okay, and that sign painting is a different skill altogether, and there are some incredible sign painters who you can check. So sign painting, Disha, is another art form altogether. It's different skills, different kind of techniques. And if you want, you can definitely check out what sign painting is. And sign painters basically create large outdoor lettering work. And this can be like anything from like a shop front to like an aeroplane to like a truck to like windows to like outdoor stuff. So sign painting is very, very interesting. There are some great sign painters out there. And of course, then there are mural artists like Gemma O'Brien is an excellent illustrator, lettering artist who does very large scale murals. So you want to check her out as well. So she's awesome. So yeah.
Amazing. And how do you get such wall projects is someone who's asked.
So I'll tell you one thing. If you want to do a wall project, you need to put it out there, showing people that you can do a wall project. Because nobody's going to come to you unless you show them at least one example of it. So a lot of times, if there was something I wanted to do for the first time, I had to actually create one and put it out to show people what it was and show people that I can do it. So my first wall was actually for a friend's office. And I was able to shoot it, get pictures of me working, and then put it up on Instagram to tell people that, hey guys, I also do this and I can paint your wall. And then people see it and they're like, oh wow, I don't mind getting my wall painted. But you need to show it to them first, and you need to show them that this is what I've done. And even if it wasn't for a real client, just do one. Do one and then say you did it for yourself, or say you did it for a client or for a friend or whatever, so people can actually see it and then reach out to you.
True, true. So where and how long does it take to get arts copyrighted? Please explain.
I am sorry, I'm not the best person to answer
I
this.
have that answer.
You can answer that.
So basically, copyrights start when the first time when you have created that artwork, it becomes your copyrights itself. So you can mail it to yourself at a particular date and it becomes your copyright. And you can actually show it as a proof as well that this is the art piece which you have created. So you don't have to register per se. So that's about the copyright. Yeah. So is there a community for calligraphers? Where can we join and get information and keep ourselves updated? I think Bombay Lettering Company has that. I think Sanjana, you can.
Yeah, just shoot us a DM and we can help you with that. We're in the process of coming up with something really exciting that is kind of community based also. But I would say in India that there are a few like pockets. So there are a few of these like WhatsApp groups. So there are these few groups of calligraphers from different parts of the country who have come together. So I do know that there's something called Indian calligraphers, something I can check and tell you. But yeah, just message me and we can definitely help you at least connect with like our community and our audience and all of that.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I think, does anyone else have any questions? I think, so amongst the questions I only have about wall art, which you've already explained about. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, okay, so now I'm going to conclude this live. I think it has been amazing and very inspiring interviewing you, Sanjana. It's been inspiring for me as well. You're an amazing, amazing calligrapher and an amazing person yourself. I mean, who's so sweet to actually, reply to you and, literally when I had actually first time messaged you and you were like, you would love to have live with me. I mean, you're quite humble yourself and it has been an honor having you on my platform. Thank you so much for being here. And guys, please do follow. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Guys, everyone follow God of Onions
Yeah.
for those of you who haven't, because she has some amazing like interviews and lives coming up. And I think what you're doing is really amazing. So of course I'd love to be a part of it because, at this point we're all trying to come together as a community and share what we know and share what we have and what we can to build everybody in the community together. So for me, it's an honor to be here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjana. And guys, y'all can also see this interview on my YouTube channel as well, God of Onions, and my Spotify channel at God of Onions. And please stay tuned for our next interview as we've got Hetal Shukla. You guys must have heard of Kala Goda Gadi with coins or the Lal Gadi. So I think I would love you and leave you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for taking schedule from your busy, I mean, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule and being here, guys.
It's
Thank
so
you so
nice.
much.
We had like 100 people at all times watching us on like a Thursday morning. So
I
that's
mean, that's because
amazing.
of you, so yeah.
It's
Yes.
nice to make, to see everybody come, and yeah, it's really nice. But thank you for having me. It was fun.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Sanjana.
awesome.
Have an
Thank
amazing day.
you. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.